This version of Red Room Society of Silence, Chapter 3, has been adapted. Some scenes have been softened, some left behind. To hear the full story, the way the mirror remembers it, click the link above, and also available in the description. Red Room Society of Silence, Chapter 3, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. The mirror hums louder. It had started softly, like breath behind glass. But now the mirror was humming again, louder. The hallway pulsed with it. 3 seniors remained. 3 cards, 3 doors. 2 were already gone. The Red Room was no longer pretending to wait. Room 1. Waiting freshmen. The hallway was silent. Behind the first door, no senior. Just a boy waiting in the room. The boy sat still. No one came. No footsteps. No echo. No hum. He smiled, relieved. For once, not being chosen was freedom. He leaned his head back and breathed. Room 2, Joon. The sketchbook was open, the pencil in his hand. Joon moved like he always did, smooth, deliberate. Just detached enough to study without being drawn in. He sketched hundreds of bodies, dozens of vases, but never his own. Not out of vanity, out of fear. But this time, the boy moved first. Not in fear. He reached up, grabbed the sketchbook, and stepped forward. Joon blinked. He never gave it up, but his fingers let go. The freshman turned him around, guided him gently, pushed him to sit on the velvet sofa. His shirt lifted. He wasn't restrained, wasn't commended, just observed. The freshman began to draw, not with hesitation, with reverence. Joon sat back, breath uneven, eyes wide. Joon looked down, trembling. The sketchbook was handed back, still warm, still open. Joon turned towards the mirror, whispered, "Is this what you wanted?" The mirror did not answer, but it didn't hum either. For Joon, it simply watched. Room 3, Leo. And while the mirror watched Joon, another door clicked open. The freshman didn't know how long he'd been sitting. Time didn't work here. Not inside these red walls. His blindfold itched. His shorts clung to his thighs. He couldn't tell if it was sweat or just fear. No instructions, no footsteps, just a mirror. Humming on the other side of the wall. He couldn't see it, but he could feel it. He sat up straight, shoulders tense, knees close. Not for readiness, from restraint. Leo entered, slow, deliberate. He didn't rush to the boy, didn't speak. Instead, he stood at the edge of the room, hands clenched behind his back, eyes tracing the lines of the freshman's body. like he was trying to see something Ethan left behind. The boy sat still, blindfolded, barely breathing, but Leo saw it. He moved closer, not to dominate, not yet, to compare. The boy was untouched. At least, it looked that way. But something about the way he held still, like he was waiting for déjà vu, made Leo's stomach knot. He crouched, one hand resting on his own knee, close enough to feel the heat of the boy's skin. He didn't know why it made him angry, but it did. Quietly, more to the silence than to the boy. "What did Ethan do to you?" No response. Just breath. And stillness. Leo's jaw tightened. The calm burned. He stepped in. The boy's scent hit him. Faint oil. Sweat. Like a lab. Something in Leo's stomach flipped. He remembered. He remembered not the room, not this red silence, but 3 winters ago. The campus was half dead over break. Leo liked it that way. Less noise, fewer eyes, just him, and whatever didn't want to be found. He stopped by the camp building that night. He knew Ethan had a lab key. Everyone knew Ethan was pre-med, biocamp, dead serious about it. Top scores, no distractions. But that night, Leo had seen the lights on in the lower labs. He wasn't snooping, not at first. Then he heard something, soft, not words, just breath. He moved to the side window, didn't enter, just watch. Ethan was alone, sitting on the floor in front of an open drawer, hands cradling a photo. A man, shirtless, tattooed arms, laughing at the beach, sun too bright behind him. Ethan stared at it like it hurt to look. Then wiped a tear, quick, mechanical, like removing contamination. Leo didn't move, didn't breathe too loud. He just watched Ethan do what Ethan never did in front of other people. It only lasted a second, but Leo never forgot, because it wasn't the control that drew him in. It was the glitch, the proof that Ethan wasn't built different. He was just good at hiding the cracks. Back in the room, the boy leaned forward, slow, mouth open. No. A slap. Not cruel, just breaking. Forced him down onto the couch, eyes wide, blindfold tight. He hesitated, just for breath, but he needed to feel something real. Pressed one hand to his throat, and he moved forward, rough with need. Held the throat the entire time. When he pulled away and saw the boy's face, his hand lifted. The neck was slack, the body limp. The mirror hummed, louder than it ever had. A deep, low growl from the wall. Leo backed away, stumbled, opened the door, and ran. He didn't make it far. 2 figures in crimson robes waited in the hallway. Cleaners, silent, expressionless. They didn't grab him, just walked forward, until he had no choice but to turn back. They closed the door behind him. A thin line of blood slid out from under the door. Inside the room, there was no scream, no thrashing, no pleading, just a final click. Then the silence boomed. The mirror didn't shatter, it shimmered, like breath fogging on cold glass. Then, two faces, side by side, one slack-jawed, one wide-eyed, both caught in the precise instant between knowing and regret. Not peaceful, not screaming, just frozen, as if the room hadn't taken them, but freed them. And on the floor, outside the frame, just a line, still red, still moving. Room 4, Ethan. He didn't look at the boy, didn't speak, didn't approach. Ethan sat by the side table, poured himself a drink. Dark amber, no label. Then another, for the boy. Then another, and another. The freshman drank because he was told to. Ethan didn't watch him, didn't touch him, just kept pouring. He raised his glass towards the boy. Even the boy couldn't see. Then drank, alone. Then spilled it, slowly, across the floor. The hum returned. He stood up, left his glass, didn't look back. He walked to the door, opened it, and paused. The mirror was waiting, just watching. He shut the door behind him. But for a moment we linger. Inside the room, the boy lay slumped, unconscious, maybe worse. On the table, Ethan's half-finished drink. The cleaners behind the wall. The walls whispered behind velvet. A seamless door slid open sideways, revealing a narrow corridor lit by faint red floor glow. 5 pairs of crimson-robed figures stood silently. They didn't speak, except one. The red-haired boy stepped forward. 3 down, he whispered. The youngest looked up, expression unreadable. The red-haired boy stepped into a scene. The others followed, vanishing 1 pair at a time. Room 5. The one who waited. 2 hours. No touch, no voice, still no one. When the door opened, it wasn't a senior. It was a cleaner. 2. They studied him, checked his eyes, straightened his clothes. The door closed. The boy sat alone, silent. The hallway. 2 people stepped out. Joon and Ethan. Joon holds a sketchbook, the one the freshman handed back. Still warm, still open to the last page. He hasn't fully looked, not until now. As they stepped into the hush of the corridor, he glances down and sees himself. Joon blinks, closes the page slowly, but doesn't shut the book, not yet. Beside him, Ethan walks in silence. He glances sideway. Joon is staring at the sketchbook, like it's a mirror he's not ready to face. Ethan stepped closer, just enough to see the drawing. Joon snaps the book shut, too fast. Ethan raises an eyebrow, almost says something, but doesn't. The silence stretches, not uncomfortable, just alert. If the silence felt heavier than the sounds, if you sense something missing, you're right. Some things were left unseen, but not everything needs to be seen. This was Chapter 3 of Red Room, Society of Silence. The mirror doesn't crave obedience. It punishes silence. And if you're still here, maybe it's already watching. The full Chapter 3 tells what this version can't. The mirror never forgets, and neither will you.